welcome back to a brand new episode of Virtual Coffee. My name is Alexa Collier, and on this podcast, I have virtual coffee or tea with early career professionals and small business owners. Now, with me today are two of the founders of Modern Muffin, Claire and Paul Putterman. Modern Muffin sells muffins made with clean ingredients, including high-protein muffins. They have no artificial ingredients or flavors and less sugar, fat, and calories than your typical muffin. I'm really excited to dive into their journey and story of launching this business. Now, before we do just that, I would really appreciate if you could rate and review Virtual Coffee on the Apple Podcasts app. You can also follow us on Instagram and Facebook. It's at Virtual Coffee Podcast. As always, thank you so much for your support. I hope everyone had a lovely holiday season, and I am looking forward to 2021. So again, thank you and happy listening. Let's dive into Claire and Paul's story. Welcome, Claire and Paul. Thanks so much for chatting with me today.
Thanks for having us today.
Thanks,
We're excited to talk to you.
Yeah, same here. So let's just get right into it, and would love for you to describe Modern Muffin's mission in your own words, kind of tell us a bit of the backstory of how you founded and launched this business.
Well, our mission truly is to teach people how to make healthy decisions in their everyday eating. And that's kind of the way I started my business years and years and years ago when I had young children. I knew that I wanted them to have healthy food. And I didn't want to have to go to the grocery store and buy them all the snacks that have, the junk in them. And so I just started baking muffins for some reason, and I knew that I could just hide all kinds of good food in there. I started hiding all kinds of vegetables and everything that I wanted, and I didn't add a lot of sugar, and I used the best flour I could find, and just making them healthy so that I could feel good about giving my family something like a muffin, because as you know, muffins have never had a good reputation. And I decided this something that the kids enjoyed. They could pick them up, eat them on the run. And so I started baking all kinds of muffins and putting everything in them and then giving them to my friends and my family. And next thing I knew, when the kids were in college, I'm sending muffins to the colleges, and then all of their friends are eating them. And then the next thing I know, people are saying, "Why aren't you selling these? These are delicious. There's nothing on the market. There's just nothing out there. You can buy muffins, but you can't buy healthy muffins." And so 2011, we started Modern Muffin.
That's awesome. Yeah, I didn't realize you guys founded it in 2011. That's incredible. Almost 10 years.
Yeah.
We think that's pretty amazing for a business to be continuing after all this time. So
Definitely. Yeah. Did you guys have experience with running a business prior to founding Modern Muffin, or was this kind of the first time you were in this business, small business, owning a business world?
That would be a big no. I was a teacher for lots and lots of years, and I loved being a teacher. I never, ever thought that I would be a businesswoman. Our children, they kind of sat us down and said, "You need to sell these muffins. They are just absolutely the way the world is going now, is healthy eating, and we need to create this." And I guess I'm jumping around a little bit, but our children were all in the business world. They were in college, and two of our sons were in the business school, and our daughter was in social media and PR and event planning. So it just seemed right. And our son-in-law, actually, he is an attorney, and so it just seemed like everybody was in place.
And I actually was the senior partner of a growing medical practice. My experience in business was running a medical practice, but it's nothing like running a food business.
I love the encouragement from your children to launch this and start selling the muffins. How is it running this business as a family? Are your children still involved in Modern Muffin, or is it mainly you, Claire, and Paul running it?
They really do help us. They have been throughout the years. We could never have made it without them. One of our sons is our CFO, and he's an incredible numbers person, always has been. So we feel very, very comfortable, with our financials. And then our other son, he's a salesperson, actually, very, very successful salesperson. So he truly gives us great advice. We all give each other advice, but he is someone I go to when I have questions about sales. And then our daughter, she just does everything from answering emails to social media. She does our Facebook, our Instagram. Whenever we go into the field doing any kind of programming, she's always there. And she's just been a very strong force in the business too. All of the kids have been. And like I said, my son-in-law, an attorney, he gives us tremendous, legal advice. And we have 2 daughters-in-law who give us great support. They've been with us all the way. And we just feel very fortunate. And I guess most of it does come on our shoulders, but we never feel alone. We just always feel that we have support and good advice.
Right. Yeah. It seems there's always a wide variety of advice too. That's awesome that you're able to leverage every family member's expertise and they're willing to give it. That amount of support seems incredible and really helpful. That's awesome to hear. Can you describe some of the muffins you sell? Give us a bit of a taste of what we could buy from Modern Muffin.
Well, we have been selling our original muffins, and now we have a high protein muffin that we have launched about a year ago. I'll start with the high protein muffin because it's one that we really, really want to get out there. It's in a lot of smaller stores now, but it's getting ready we feel it's getting ready to get into some of the big stores. And the high protein muffin, it's made with 10 grams of protein. It's got 44 organic superfoods, Greek yogurt, flax meal, walnuts, just a variety of healthy ingredients and lots of organic ingredients. And all of our muffins are individually wrapped. The protein muffins, we have chocolate cherry chip, we have apple cinnamon flax, we have banana walnut, and we have blueberry hemp. And then our original muffins, that are also extremely healthy. All of our muffins are low in sugar, low in fat, much lower in calories, and they're made with real ingredients, the kind of ingredients that you want to eat, you want your family to have. And our original muffins, we have blueberry lemon, we have banana chocolate chip, we have orange pineapple poppy seed, we have a pumpkin cranberry, and we also have the strawberry berry. And also, we have one that is a non-dairy, and that is our applesauce muffin. So those are the ones that we currently sell, and that's where we are with the muffins.
Those sound all so delicious.
They're delicious.
Those sound amazing.
On top of all the health benefits, they're truly delicious.
Yeah, I love the focus on making sure they're healthy. That seems to have remained your mission, and having just such that strong mission, that strong why is just so beneficial for a business. Now, you mentioned you were in some stores. That's incredible. Where can people find your muffins in stores?
Well, our muffins are in Whole Foods all over the South. I think that's like 50 stores. And then we're in Harris Teeter stores all over Charlotte and the surrounding areas outside of Charlotte too. We're in a lot of smaller stores all around the South. And we sell online at modernmuffin.com. People can order the muffins that way as well, and we send them all over the country.
I think the only states we haven't shipped to yet are Alaska and Hawaii.
Wow. Whole Foods and Harris Teeters, that's huge. That's incredible. Congratulations on that.
Well, thank you. We're hoping so much, to expand into other big box stores.
We're pushing all of them really hard right now to put these protein muffins in the stores too. So keep your fingers crossed.
COVID actually hurt us a little bit because we in Harris Teeter, we had already gotten our high protein muffins in, and they were doing very, very well. And they were getting ready to move them around when the COVID hit, and we couldn't deliver those anymore. So we put them on hold, and now we're just keeping our fingers crossed that we'll be able to get those back in soon.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully soon here. I would think next year, hopefully. I'll keep my fingers crossed as well. How do you get your muffins into these big stores? Like, do you reach out to them or do they reach out to you? What's kind of that process like?
Well, it's interesting how it started with Harris Teeter. We actually had a customer buy some muffins that were she bought them for the then CEO of Harris Teeter, and Claire delivered them to them. And next thing she knew, she was getting a call from them that they wanted the muffins in the store. As far as Whole Foods, it was interesting because Claire and I would do demos with the product in the stores. Several people who worked at Whole Foods would come by, taste the muffins, and say, "You got to come by and put these in Whole Foods because this would be a great product." So we just went into Whole Foods and had to start with the bakery manager and then work up to the store manager, then work up to the regional manager. But it's just it's a process. You just have to go through each and every one of them and have them try the muffins and decide ultimately that they like it. And then they try them in one store, and then when they see that you're successful, they expand you out further. So that's the process that we've gone through to get them in these big stores.
That just goes to show how important each customer's experience is, right? Like every single customer, you never know who they work for or who they're going to give the muffins to. That's awesome. Wow. That really goes to show your product must be delicious and hold true to its healthy mission. And then also your customer experience is lovely as well.
At the same time, we send emails or we pop into corporate offices with samples, plenty of places, and you sit back waiting to hear something, and sometimes you hear and sometimes you don't hear. So that's just the nature of running the business.
Just keep trying for all those stores, and you never know what'll happen. Yes, yeah, definitely right. Sometimes you don't hear back, or who knows, maybe they read the email, forgot to reply, and then 2 years later, one of their employees brings them a muffin, and they remember.
We got the advice that you have to try 100 places, and all you need is one yes, and through 99 no's, but it's the one yes that really matters. So
exactly, and then who knows what that one yes will lead to. Speaking of advice, would love to hear from both of you the advice you have top of mind for those wanting to start a small business or other small business owners, since you've been doing this for almost 10 years now. That's a ton of experience, a ton of lessons learned, successes, etc. Just what's some of the big pieces of advice that come to mind?
Well, I think first you have to decide, and this was told to me by someone, actually one of the things that one of my sons said, you have to decide if this is truly a hobby or can it be a business. And sometimes you don't know in the beginning, and you ask yourself that over and over and over, and it could take years before you really say, well, maybe this was just a hobby. But you have to assume that if it's going to be a business, you have to direct all of your efforts towards that and not let anybody tell you, oh, it's just a hobby. But that's a question to ask. And another thing is you have to find out, is there a real need in the marketplace for your product? Is it something different? Is it unique? Is it something that people want? Is it out there? And, I always think of the three P's, and that is your product. Product has to be necessary. Persistence. You can't give up. You always have to go, go, go. Even when people are telling you no, you just have to send that extra email again. And then 2 or 3 weeks go by, you have to send another email. And then I have a friend who says to me, Claire, did you send that email again? But I just wrote last week. Send it again. And then passion. You have to really believe. You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in your product. You have to believe in your business. So to me, product, persistence, and passion, the three P's. Paul, you have any?
No, it's like Claire said, the persistence. Again, you might get 99 no's, but you still have to write that 100th letter because that might be the yes.
I really love those three P's. I think they all feed into one another, right? As Claire, you were describing, you need to have that product that is needed in the market that's different. You need to have that persistence, keep going, don't stop. And if it is your true passion and you are passionate about it, that persistence should come somewhat naturally, right? Which then feeds into your product and continues to evolve it and make it better. I love that relationship that those three P's all have. I think that's great advice. So where are you guys hoping to take Modern Muffin? I know you're aiming for those bigger stores, just getting your products out there even further. Would you ever explore products other than muffins, or is muffins the focus and will remain the focus?
It's interesting that you even asked that question because our daughter always says, we need other products. We need other products. But first, and we've discussed this many, many times, first we have to get that brand recognition, because I think businesses try to grow too quickly and they start going all over the place. And you can't get anywhere until you really, really have that brand recognition. And I feel like in Charlotte, after all these years, we have that. And I feel like once we see a little more expansion, I think we could possibly move into other directions. But right now, I think we're just trying to get the muffins just to grow as quickly and as strongly as we can.
Yeah, we're starting to see some more recognition throughout the South with Whole Foods and some of the smaller areas. So, we're just watching for that to pick up. And then it becomes easier to introduce new items with your name on it.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense, right? There's nothing wrong with perfecting the muffin, and I'm sure there's probably an endless amount of flavors you can explore there, right? And create and make up. That is interesting because there are brands, right, that have a million different products. And then there's brands who focus on one and they're known for that, right? Like you guys are known for your muffin. I wonder how your customer base would react if you introduce a new product. That is an interesting question to answer or decision to make, but I appreciate your answer. I think that makes sense. So for you, Claire and Paul, is this now your full-time job? You may have mentioned this before, but is your sole focus on Modern Muffin? Or Paul, are you still, running that medical business? Or is this now your full-time?
No, I'm not in that same clinic anymore, but I am working a couple days a week as a physician. But the rest of I always say I work 2 days a week as a physician and 20 days a week as a person. So that's where we are right now.
Yeah, he wears a lot of different hats in this business. He really does. The business doesn't close at 5 o'clock. It goes on through the evening hours and the weekend hours too.
And Claire, how about you? Is this now your full time? I know you mentioned you were a teacher.
It is. I left the teaching profession, and although I'll always miss that, that's always a big part of me. I focus my time on the business and my family. And we have all of our children here and our grandchildren.
She's a full-time grandmother. Are you
kidding? Am. Yeah, as a matter of fact, we're waiting for one to due tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
That's where I spend my time, is between Modern Muffin and family.
Oh, wow. Congratulations. You seem to have a very large and awesome family. Claire, do you bake all the muffins in your home, or do you have a place you go to, or is it just all done within your home?
It used to be within my home. I used to bake 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Wow.
Oh my goodness, for a number of years we baked and baked. But once we got into Harris Teeter, they told us that we were growing quickly and we had to get out of the house. And so that's when we found a co-packer who does the baking. But I've spent many, 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 many hours. I can't even count the hours that I spent over there, with them, watching them, doing the quality control and just making sure that the muffins are the way I would bake them.
That's incredible growth for this business. I'm just, fascinated. You have someone to do the baking now, and you're in these huge, huge stores, really well-known stores. Are you still involved in the ideation of new flavors? I could see that process being really fun of, what's our next new muffin going to be?
That actually would be the most important thing for me, because I love creating and I do have so many other recipes, but sometimes the stores only want 3 SKUs or 4 SKUs, and so we keep those. We have recipes, we have the varieties that we switch out. They're seasonal, but as far as creating, I could do that all day. That would be my favorite thing, if I could just spend the days creating recipes and putting them into the stores. I would love that.
These creations don't happen overnight either. This protein muffin, Claire
Yeah.
worked on this over a year.
Right.
Wow.
And we're actually still working on it.
And we're still changing it slightly,
little bit.
even to this point. So it takes a while to work through these things. So
and then you have packaging, you have all of the, it's not just creating the recipe and then getting it, ready to go. It's everything else, all the packaging, the labeling, everything that goes in there. And we've worked with a food scientist to make sure that everything is, healthy and it's going to withstand the test of time.
Yeah, that's such an in-depth process. That's why I love talking to business owners like yourselves, because with these unique businesses, there are just those processes you would never think of that have to go into it, right? Like the testing, the year or years of testing and working with that food scientist. And also, I'm sure sourcing the ingredients is a whole nother thing you have to figure out. Like just so many things that go into it that you wouldn't think of just from the consumer side of it.
I can't begin to tell you how many muffins all of us have eaten. How many muffins we've thrown away because they didn't taste right. And then finally getting the ones that do taste right. It's a long process.
It is. Yeah. That's awesome. I'm happy you guys are sharing this. So, between running the business and tending to your family and I'm sure your other passions as well, have you discovered any best practices for managing all that, right? How do you not just bake and test muffins 24/7? Like, how do you make time for your family and other passions? Do you have any best practices for balancing all that?
Yeah. I have a lot of energy. We're kind of looking at each other and laughing. I just go. Like, I guess he always laughs and calls me an Energizer Bunny. And even at my age, I think it's important to exercise. We still go to a pretty intense workout class almost every morning. Outside in the garage. We go to where we used to work out, but it's not in a gym now. They do it out in the garage, and everybody's masked up and 10 feet apart. And, and I feel like the exercise is important. I try to eat right. I, get as much sleep as I can, probably not as much as I should, and I'm
a gardening buff, so I'd spend time in the garden.
And I feel all of these things are important to, physically and emotionally, to keep you able to do what you need to do for your business. And I just think it all works out. You eat right, you sleep, you don't smoke, you don't do this, you don't do that, you do this, you do that. And it's a balancing act, truly. But I think you have to keep your body strong. And if you keep your body strong and you remind yourself all that you have to be thankful for, then you can be happy. And then everything else just works out.
Yeah, I appreciate your mindset on that. It seems, it's a lot of self-care, like just taking care of you, you and your body so that you can pursue your other passions and do have that energy to do everything that's going on in your life. Just really taking care of yourself and being mindful of what you and your body need.
Right.
My last, big question for both of you, would love to hear from both Claire and Paul here, is in this moment, what is your proudest accomplishment? Now, this can be related to Modern Muffin or doesn't have to be at all. Just kind of the first thing that comes to mind. What is your proudest accomplishment?
Well, I guess I have so many that I'm truly, truly proud of. But when I'm thinking of the business right now, and I still, as Paul alluded to, how we got into Harris Teeter, I will never forget it was a slightly snowy morning in February that I took muffins over to the president of Harris Teeter, his wife, because she had gotten word, from somebody about our muffins. And so she asked if I could bring the muffins over. And I remember going over there that snowy morning, taking them to her and standing in her foyer. And she said, we don't have good muffins at Harris Teeter. They just aren't healthy. And I was just curious. You're a woman in business. I thought, let me just, if you don't mind, I just wanted to try them. And so I took them over there to her, and I thought, well, we talked for about 20, 30 minutes, and I was pretty, excited that I was at the house of the president of, Harris Teeter. But I thought, I'm sure it's not going to really go anywhere. It was just a fun thing to do. That was a Friday. Monday morning, I get this phone call from the corporate office, and they said, the president or the CEO of Harris Teeter tasted your muffins and wants you to come to the corporate office right away. When can you come? He loves your muffins. He wants them in the store. And that was my proudest moment. And then I ended up meeting with the president. He asked me, that was the CEO, and then the president asked me to come to his office. And I sat in his office right with him and had this wonderful meeting. And I thought, this is really a business. I did it. I did it. I've met with the CEO. I've met with the president of Harris Teeter, and here I am. That was pretty exciting.
What year was that?
That must have been 2012. Yeah.
Wow. So really soon, actually, like early into the
Yes.
business journey. That's so incredible. Yeah, that is a huge success. That's amazing. Congratulations on that.
And we were still hand wrapping muffins. It was very, very simple. And he said, because I was doing a lot of demos in the store, and he said, you're the face of the business. I want you out. I don't want you just doing demos. You're the face of the business. We need to figure this out. And that was it.
That's awesome. And Paul, did you have anything you wanted to add?
Well, I'm just sitting here thinking about it because I didn't really give it a whole lot of thought. But I would say the proudest moment, Claire will probably laugh, but she'll agree with this, is that when we look at our 3 kids and see how successful they are, and that we've gotten them to the point where they're self-sufficient and successful, and yet they jump right in with us to help us with this company. When I look at them, I think that's my proudest moment.
Yeah, just the passion from everyone and the willingness to support, and that despite everything else going on in all your individual lives, just coming together to support the business. That's awesome. Wow. Well, such amazing success here with Modern Muffin. I'm looking forward to seeing, your muffins in bigger and more stores across the country. Now, where can people find you and Modern Muffin on social media? Is the website? Shout them all out.
We have our website. It's modernmuffin.com, and you can go on there and purchase anything. We'll ship it directly to you. Also, we encourage people, if they're going to go to our website, to sign up for our email newsletter, because there's always sales and special things coming out on the newsletters. Find us on Facebook. I guess it's at Modern Muffin, and Instagram. You can also find us in Whole Foods throughout the Southeast, or Harris Teeter for any people who live in the Charlotte area. There's several other any students who are at Wake Forest, they can go to their food service and buy them, because that's one of our bigger accounts is Wake Forest.
And we're at the Marriott in Greenville.
So
we're just starting to really spread throughout colleges and universities and hotels, and just lots of mom and pop stores. Every day we get an email, that we're in another store, which is very exciting. And so I'm not sure that we can count all of them, but it's very exciting.
For sure. Keep my eye out for your muffins in stores. And I hope everyone checks out Modern Muffin, and just looking forward to seeing them all over. Thank you so much, Claire and Paul.
Yeah, and one last thing I just wanted to in Whole Foods, when you're looking, we're in the freezer section. So when you get here, look at the breakfast area, you'll find us in the freezer, because our muffins can stay in the freezer for 6 to 9 months, and they're just as delicious when you pull them out.
That's a great shout out. I was going to ask where they were, if they were in the bakery or there. So awesome. Whole Foods, check out the freezer aisle. Awesome. Great. Well, thank you so much, Claire and Paul, for speaking to me today.
Well, thank you. We enjoyed talking to you.